Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the I Foster Juice podcast. I am your host, Juice, and I'm here with my co-host, the perfectly placed street firework to my dumbass burnout and peel-outs, Reen. What's up, Reen?
Go Dodgers!
I don't think we've ever talked about baseball once, privately or on air.
No.
And I don't really give a shit about baseball, but man, did it provide some fucking entertainment this week.
I don't either, but wow. Yeah, I had no idea what was going on until you sent me that video.
Oh, you didn't know that Mexicans are wild?
Well, I knew that, but I didn't know they were like fucking going crazy and partying down there.
Oh, yeah, you don't know SoCal Mexicans. I don't know what they're like up in NorCal, but SoCal Mexicans are a special breed. If you guys don't know what we're talking about, because we tend to talk about shit and not give full clarity, well, full disclosure. Yeah, in case you didn't catch the news, the Los Angeles Dodgers won the World Series earlier this week. 60-game season. A lot of the haters were talking about that. I wasn't even aware because I don't give a shit. But yeah, they won the World Series. And LA went wild. Specifically, the Mexicans in LA went wild. And there was stuff going on Twitter and the news of people doing donuts and burnouts in the middle of the street, like really busy boulevards in East Los Angeles. And it was like 99% Mexicans. And they were putting fireworks out on the street because, of course, they were. And the guy was still doing burnouts and peel-outs and donuts in the middle of the street. And he just perfectly just went over the firework as he was doing a donut, and his car caught fire. And then these dumbasses also started surrounding him like if they were trying to save him, like not aware of the fact that a flammable substance went right near this motherfucker's gas tank, just going straight into the danger. And they're always talking about how white people always go straight into the dangerous shit. Fuck y'all.
Shit's funny, man.
Fuck those people. Man, I haven't cast my ballot yet. I haven't voted. I am going to vote. My ballot as of right now is still blank. But after seeing that shit, I strongly considered ordering a MAGA hat, man. I was like, fuck, I might just pull the trigger. Gotta thin the herd, man. Fuck it.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I mean, when Golden State won, it didn't get crazy up here. Nothing like that happened. But Oakland, there's a mix of people in Oakland.
Hey, gay dudes can party, but they don't tend to, leave a mess like that,
No.
Something that it was an unfortunate truth that I came to realize after I saw that. Say what you want about Trump supporters. The streets don't look like fucking Baghdad after they're done with their rallies and caravans.
Oh, man. Y'all are wild down there, man.
Don't let me in with those motherfuckers. Fuck them.
It didn't make sense to me because shit could happen. There's a lot of people there. Shit can happen to where he can, the driver could just hit a couple people or mow down some fucking folks. Shit can happen. That's what bothered me as soon as I started seeing that car doing donuts.
Of course, losing control. But once your car's on fire, you might not just fucking book it and start revving on the gas. Pedestrians be damned. Yeah, you're right. People could have easily got mowed down, quote unquote, by accident.
Crazy. So much shit has been happening this year.
Nothing gave me such joy, and yet I was filled with such disappointment at the same time. You know what it feels like to be clearly Mexican? Like I can't hide my race, and going to work the next day and having to see several white people and then just looking at me like, I know you were out there, motherfucker. I know that was true. I know all you people drive fucking Honda Civics. I seen you.
Hey, let me look at your eyes. Are they bloodshot red? Did you get any rest? Did you sleep any?
Take your shirt off. You got a Dodger shirt under there, don't you?
Huh?
Got a fucking six-pack tucked into your belt.
You look tired, bro. You were out all night, weren't you?
Oh my God. Rain, can we just switch races for like a day? I know like no other Okinawans in America can be a bit lonely, but there's plenty of Mexicans down here. You can have them all. I'll be alone. I don't give a shit. Just for like a few days.
We can try. We can trade. I want to see what it feels like to be Mexican.
Man. Oh, you're gonna all this shit. Your little weigh-in from earlier today. Yeah, just kick that shit out the window. That shit ain't good. Nah.
You're like, fuck
You
it,
can have
dude.
my mom. You can have my mom.
Oh my gosh, you want to be like cooking up a storm for me?
Yeah.
Dude, my diet's out the door. She's
Yep.
like, oh, look at what I made. Look at breakfast.
Yep.
Don't you guys have like it's what is it called? They're the equivalent of donuts. All those pastries.
Oh yeah, like pan dulce. Yeah, yeah, like the sweet bread. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Should be pushing that on me.
Oh, right now, Dia de los Muertos is coming up in a few days. They have
Oh
pan de
shit.
muerto right now. It looks like a cake. It doesn't have like a frosting and shit on it, but yeah, it's a big, yeah, it's like a gigantic donut. It's like all made with like egg and stuff and powdered sugar, and it's delicious. I just ate some earlier today. I'm sorry, Reen. I know I shouldn't say that right now, but I'm trying to do. It's fucking. I cannot stop with that shit. I cannot stop with the pan dulce. I cannot. But yeah, there's that for breakfast. You can have that chorizo and eggs. That that. Oh, you can have chilaquiles.
Chorizo and eggs.
Chilaquiles, if you
Oh,
never tried that, it's like basically like cut up enchiladas. So instead of like having them rolled up, you just dice them up like nachos, and you put like sour cream and cheese and a fried egg on top. Oh yeah,
God.
that's just the first course.
Oh man. See, okay, so I wasn't sure what I wanted to eat because I do deserve a cheat meal because I went hard for 90 days.
And
I,
congratulations on that, by the way.
oh, thank you. I think I'm going to reward myself with Mexican food.
You know what? It's
I
not a
gotta,
bad way to go. If you want just
oh,
stupid calories in you, just go for it, man. Honestly, I'll give you that. Yeah, you have a good point there.
yeah, because I mean, I thought about wings because that was my thing, but it doesn't even sound, appetizing to me. But what you just described, yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go to the hood and go get some Mexican food for Saturday's fights.
Hey, and I'm sure whatever spot you go to, I mean, it's definitely not going to be Taco Bell, so you're definitely going to support like a local business, probably like a mom and pop shop. So
Oh yeah, fuck no,
yeah.
dude. Even though they were like trying to get me with that big ass Nacho Supreme. I don't know if you've seen the commercial or not, or you've been to like a Taco Bell in a
Oh
while, but
yeah, that like $10 box for like six people and shit.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, huh.
they try to get me with that shit. It
Damn, you
looked
almost
good.
fell for it.
Yeah, it looked good, but I'm like, no, I ain't gonna look like that. It'll never look like that. It never looks like the fucking photos, man. I'm gonna go to the hood. I gotta go get some Mexican cheese.
You just brought something to my mind. I wonder if is there a pipeline of people that work in fast food commercials and like IG thoughts, IG models, because of how good they make the food look. Can they just translate that into their belfies?
They probably do, huh?
They got to learn some tricks in the trade, right? Like you
Yeah.
got to take that home with you somehow.
Huh, they got hacks.
Yeah, it's like if you're a gardener, if someone goes to your house and you have a shitty yard, like come on, man, you have to learn something.
Shit's funny, man.
Like it's like if you wash cars and you fucking have a dirty ass car, like it's supposed
Right,
to work that way.
right. Damn, you got me thinking about Mexican food now. Yeah. You know
Oh,
what?
I'll get you thinking. Yeah, I
That's
need
what I'm gonna do.
I need pictures on Saturday. I want to
Yeah.
see what you got. I want to see how high on the decadent scale did you go?
Yeah. I'm gonna have to do that. Okay. I'm gonna have to like ask you for pointers too. Like which direction should I go? Should I go with this plate or this plate? Or maybe I should get both?
Just get for sure. Just as long as it has sour cream and cheese, you're good.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, for sure, I'll give you pointers. I'm free this weekend, so you go right on ahead.
Fuck yeah, dude. All right. I'm gonna do this cheat meal thing. Yeah, I deserve it, man.
And hey, if you get guacamole, you get the good fat, so that's like kind of healthy, you know?
Yeah, it kind of balances out, right?
Yeah.
Cancel each other out. You're right. You're right. I want to use that logic. At least for one day. I'll work it off later.
I think that's how I think that's how we got white people with the avocados and the guacamole. It's like, oh, it's healthy. It has avocados. And meanwhile, you're eating like 3,000 calories.
For real. Man, you got Mexicans got like white people eating like avocado on toast and shit with eggs, and you seen that shit, right? Like a toast and like spread and everything.
I
They're like
haven't.
they're
I
like, oh, this
haven't,
is
but I can
healthy.
imagine it. Well, yeah. Yeah. It's funny as unless this is your guys' first time hearing it. As I've said, I have a white girlfriend and she's older than me, so she has made jokes about millennials and the avocado toast. It's always tongue in cheek. We just fuck around. I make fun of her being a Gen Xer and still having hope in the government, but I also make fun of Reen for that. But but she tells me all the time, it's like, oh, I'll keep the avocado. I'll have the avocado, but you can keep the toast. White people can't get enough of that shit, man. I want to see the correlation. Like, there's also probably some type of diagram because, we've been a fat country for a while, but that wasn't really the case in the 40s and 50s. And people talk about processed food and sugar and all that stuff, and for sure that's a factor. But I also wonder, like, when did the Mexicans really start coming in? Like, have we looked at that correlation? The more that Americans started eating Mexican food and just got fat as shit.
That's possible.
Things to think about. There's the
Huh.
sugar industry and all kinds of shit, but hey, Mexicans got their tricks too, man.
Huh. When did Taco Bell start booming?
I don't even know when Taco Bell started. And that's just the devil's creation because that shit ain't Mexican. It ain't even
No.
American. That's its own thing, man.
Shit.
Taco Bell created its own like ethnic food.
Right? Mexican pizza?
Yeah.
Well, that's no longer on the menu, I guess.
Oh really? Well, probably because
Yeah.
of the COVID thing, they pared it down. A lot of places do that.
Yeah. I think that's what happened, but that seemed to be like everybody's favorite.
Mexican
Mexican
pizza.
pizza. Yeah, man. That was my go-to when I was going to Taco Bell.
I'm a sucker for the cheesy gordita crunch. That's been my thing for like years.
Oh, see, I never got into that. It was either the Mexican pizza, that whole like,
Yeah.
combo with the drink and shit, or it was that and also the 7-layer burrito. The 7-layer burrito came out when I was a kid, so that was back in the day.
Oh,
And
okay.
that's still my shit. So,
Rocket old school.
yep. So it's been at least what a good, I don't know, 30 something years, right? That Taco Bell's been around.
Oh, for sure. I'm sure. I should talk to my lady. She's a bit older, and then she's from the Midwest, so maybe she got it later. But yeah,
Yeah,
I should ask her because I'm sure that's the only Mexican food she tried until she moved to California. So,
right? For real.
yep, did her in. Well, thank you guys again for joining us. This is our very random cold open as always, but we got plenty of fights to talk about. We're gonna talk a lot about UFC 254. Some major shit happened there. The fights this weekend are not great. We're honestly only gonna cover the top 2 fights. There's fights to talk about, but no matchups of interest, so we're not gonna go too deep into that. Some good headlines, some interesting matchups, and topical news story as always. So let's stop wasting time and get straight into the rewind for UFC 254. So we did not cover this fight officially, but I did make mention of it last week. Miranda Maverick was fighting Liana Jojua. It was Miranda Maverick's UFC debut. She was a former Invicta Rising tournament winner and a very hot prospect. And she took on Liana Jojua, and man, she looked a little rusty, a little not all there for like 30 seconds or a minute or so. But once she got her groove, when she found her groove, she did not stop. She hit the pedal to the metal. And
I mean, they were in Abu Dhabi, so I hope they took care of that. Cosmetic surgery or something. I mean, it looked rough. There was like a picture of her with all her stitches in. But hopefully they're gonna take care of her like they did with Jessica Panay when she got fucked up by Joanna.
Joanna still did Penne worse, but it was up there. What's crazy is that that she didn't even break her nose.
Oh, really?
It was just a cut, but I mean,
God damn!
I know, like all that blood came from. Yeah, if you guys didn't see the fight, she upward elbowed her right in the mug, right in the fucking beak. And yeah, she cut her up nasty. I thought for sure it was a broken nose, but it ended up just being a cut. But it was a disgusting cut. It looked like she took the fucking like a hunting knife, straight to her septum. It was gross.
Damn, that is so crazy. Because you heard the impact too,
Oh yeah.
right? So you would think that it was busted up, but damn, man, that's some crazy shit.
Someone made a point that the elbow technically did not hit her, it was the forearm, which it's kind of true when you look at it, like it was more forearm than elbow. So maybe if the elbow did hit her, it would have like just straight up exploded her nose. Maybe that's the thing that kind of saved her, but yeah, she still got a gigantic gash right on the nose.
That was crazy. Yeah. Yeah, we didn't really mention it, but I watched it and that was an exciting fight. They were both headhunting. But Maverick seemed to mix it up with, the body and going to the legs and shit. And dude, I like her, man. I that was a
Strong
good
as
fight.
shit.
Dude, her body. She's so bodied up. I'm like,
She
see,
grew up
that's
on a
it.
farm. She grew up on a farm. That's why she's from
Oh,
Missouri. Yeah,
makes sense. Yeah,
Midwestern farm girl. Yep.
throwing bales of hay around and
Oh
shit.
hell yeah. Yep.
Huh.
I don't know if you
Damn,
heard
dude.
the commentary too that she's studying for her PhD.
Yeah, isn't that
Jesus
crazy?
Christ, that
Yeah, she was studying or teaching classes up until the fight or something.
yep. American
Wow.
work ethic for real, man. I don't say those words too often, but that chick makes me proud to be American, man.
Huh, and then what did she say? Like, yeah, can you imagine if I didn't have all these like 20 things to do?
Yeah.
Dude, I want to see it.
Yeah, I mean, I want her to study and do whatever she wants to do for sure, but yeah, I mean, if she doesn't go for a semester or takes fighting a little more seriously, damn, yeah, she's very promising.
Yeah, that was a good one. Fear the Maverick. I love her name.
Yeah, I mean, her real name is Maverick, so she just her
Yep.
nickname is Fear the,
Yep,
but
fear the
but it works. It works.
you bad bitch. Welcome.
Yeah, so shout outs to Miranda again. Not to get onto the fights that we did cover, the sole prelim fight that we did cover, Nathaniel Wood and Casey Kenny. Casey Kenny won a close, I think it was a unanimous decision if I recall correctly. Really tight, really close fight between these two. It was interesting too. The line, like, Nathaniel Wood was the underdog, but barely. And man, it was a close fight, but Kenny just again just has that dog in him, and that's kind of what won him the fight, just being more aggressive and just being in your face.
Yeah. Do you know why it was at a catch weight?
I do not know. I actually kind of forgot about that. I do not know. I mean, I'm thankful it was at a catch weight because I think had it been at bantamweight, whether it would have been Wood or Kenny, they would have been worse off for it. Probably
Mm-hmm.
their cardio wouldn't have held up. But it
Yeah.
looked like Wood I'm gonna assume Wood probably couldn't make weight because Wood didn't look too great in the second half of the fight. So I'm thinking he probably had trouble cutting and probably went to him early, like, hey, you want to just do a catch weight? I'm assuming.
Okay. It makes sense because I was trying to look it up. I'm like, why the fuck was this at even a catch weight? But yeah, Kenny seemed to gas what in the third. Started to slow down in the third. Well, I mean, they both started to slow down really in the second round because they're just throwing heat in the first round. That was fucking crazy. Yeah, Kenny, man, he's just on that momentum. So I wonder if he'll fight again this year.
Yeah, that's kind of. I think he made mention. I think he said like, I'm done for now, or I don't think he said like done, but I think he just said like, I think Abu Dhabi just that was too much for him already. I mean,
Oh
I think he
yeah.
went early on. Yeah, because he was there. He fought in the home Aldana fight, and that was I
Yeah.
think like the second fight on Fight Island. So he's been there for like a month. So I think he was just like, yeah, I'm done. And I think that's why I kind of think the catchweight was probably because of Wood because he's been there. I'm assuming
Hmm.
all he had to do was kind of stay, eat somewhat healthy and just go to the gym here and there. So I think he would have been at weight. I think it was Wood's deal.
Gotcha.
Wood is still a hell of a prospect. I mean, he's lost two of his last three. He got knocked out by Dodson, won the last one, and then lost this one. But
Hmm.
do you think he can come back? Do you think he can claim that prospect status again, or you think he's gonna be like Mirsad Bektic, and this is just going to be all downhill from here.
I think he can. The prospect aspect of it. I mean, Kenny is just slightly better than him. It's not like he got blown out, right?
True.
He's just slightly better than him. That was it. So he still has a chance there. And where is he from?
England? I don't know what part of England, but
yeah. So I don't think he'll get even cut either because I mean they don't have a lot of overseas fighters on the roster. He'll still hang. He'll still be around. I think. I mean, we still have Hannah Cyphers.
You know what? Yeah, I mean, Wood comes to fight. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, he's British. That tends to go a long way. And yeah, I did not think he was going to get cut necessarily. That was not what I was thinking. I was just more, can he come back to get his streak going again? Because I always say Holloway's my go-to. Holloway lost his UFC debut, and then I think he ended up he may have lost his first 3 fights in the UFC, or the first 3 of 4. And then went on a win streak and never looked back. There's always those types, but then there's the Mirsad Bektic types that they seem to be going up and up and up, and they have 1 loss and then maybe 1 win and then loss, and then that's it. Yeah. So you're right though. It's a close fight, and it wasn't like he totally got blown out, totally got his ass kicked. So yeah, it's feasible he can come back. Maybe just a different. I don't even think it's a coaching thing. Maybe just focus more on a little bit more on cardio, tighten up your striking, round out your game a little bit more, little tweaks.
Yeah, wrestling.
Well, Brad Pickett's a good wrestler, and he's had decent wrestling. He just couldn't get it off in this fight. But Kenny's also a good grappler. He probably didn't really want to fuck with him too much there.
Yeah, probably. Yep.
Yeah. There's lesser of 2 evils, get my ass kicked striking or possibly get submitted. Going on to the main card. The fight that we didn't want to cover, and I don't know if I'm glad we covered it now or not, but Kudalava got knocked the fuck out by Ankalaev. Kudalava got knocked out by, what's his name? Magomed Ankalaev. Is he have the funniest losses in the UFC?
Yeah, I mean, I was wondering why he was chasing him so much. Was it emotional or what?
Oh wow, yes. Jan Kudalava being emotional. Yeah, no, never.
Come on, can you at least calm down? Just constantly chasing him. And I think finally DC mentioned it or something. What, he should cut him off. Because it was starting to become that Holly Holm, Aldana fight. Just constantly chasing and that did him in, really chasing him. Because he ran into that punch, it seemed like.
Yeah, that's what Kudalava does. He's just this dude.
Calm down, right? Because it didn't really work out well before with his, antics. Whatever he was doing, he acted like he was gonna go down, or what did he do? He acted like he was hurt.
Yeah, he was doing the chicken leg. Yeah, he was just.
Right? Calm the fuck down, dude. Just focus a little bit. Maybe it'll work out better.
I want to know if he has a steady sparring partner. I cannot imagine he does.
Oh my God, probably not. Who the fuck wants to spar with him?
Yeah, I don't know where his gym's at, who he trains with. But I gotta imagine if coach says you're sparring with Kudalava today, you're not gonna be happy.
Right? Full on pads and shit. Football pads. Why? Put a football helmet on, protect that fucking noggin.
He's the type of guy. Yeah, I can imagine him yelling in the gym between rounds,
Yeah.
After he lands a big hit, he's just Maybe that's what it is. You see those YouTube videos, those viral videos of some guy acting like an asshole and getting knocked out. Kudalava's that guy. He's just in the UFC. Those guys never make it to the UFC. Kudalava just managed to make it to the UFC.
Does he have a girlfriend or anything? What's that like?
I hope not.
Being in bed with that dude. Oh,
I gotta imagine it doesn't last long. Just the feeling.
Probably not. Holy shit, man. Dude, just calm down.
Take a
Fucking
deep breath.
smoke some weed or something. Is it legal in his country? Where is
Probably
he
not.
from?
Probably not.
Huh. Xanax? Something? Calm
Shit.
down.
Shit. Shit. I have a strong hatred of that drug, but yeah, I might. It might just make him slower. He might not even knock him out. It might just be like, oh, okay.
Yeah, right? Just
Mellow him
mellow
out.
him out. Yep.
Because I didn't know till recently too that Xanax is like I knew it was like an anxiety thing, but I know anxiety has many terms. I did not know anxiety. The meat reason you're supposed to take Xanax is like if you're having like a full blown panic attack, like an anxiety attack, like can't breathe and all that. Like that's when you're supposed to take a Xanax to just like okay, your heart's racing, you're fucking freaking out. Take one of these and chill. Like that's what it's for. If you're not taking it for that, then yeah, it's gonna knock you out. But with the way that dude fights, yeah. I mean, it might be appropriate. Like, just pop one of these, man, and just chill.
Right? Keep him focused a little. Just a little bit. I mean, if you want to act like that in the weight room, go right ahead, but I can't imagine him, like getting any rounds in with anybody, training with anyone. Who wants to hold pads for that guy?
Yeah. Even that can't be fun. Yep.
Right? You can get your head taken off. Oh man.
Well, with all this, all his bullshit, but with this loss, he's now 3-4 in his last fights. 3 of 4 had losses in his last 3 of his last 4 fights. I mean, does he get cut? Like,
I would be surprised if he did.
we're gonna talk later about people who probably should or shouldn't get cut, but I don't see why you keep him around. I mean, I guess he is entertaining because he's violent and then he gets knocked out in hilarious fashion, but
Yeah.
I
That's
mean,
the only entertaining aspect of it, right? Like,
that's got to run its course somewhere somehow.
right.
Well, that happened. I think we
Oh my
went a little
god.
too long on that one, but it happened.
It was funny. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Kudalaba provides entertainment, even if it's not always meant that way. But, next fight, this wasn't as fun. Wall Harris got a TK
Man.
by Alexander Volkov. Man, okay, so obviously nobody was, even though we were rooting for him, and even though, I mean, there was a quite a decent chance that Overeem was gonna win against Harris earlier this year, and obviously he did win. And the way that fight played out, looking back at it, nobody should have been surprised. He
Right.
went in with all his energy, trying to take Overeem out really quick. It didn't happen. Somehow Overeem had a heart and a chin that night, came back and dominated him. It was a bad time in his life. Gotta imagine it's probably still a bad time, but that was his first fight back. I guess we all thought that he probably got that out of his system. He could come back to Volkov a little bit more close to normal, but he just looked rusty here. And that's something I wasn't expecting. I wasn't exactly going to be surprised if he lost. I just didn't expect him to lose like this.
I wonder if the loss of his daughter just started to creep up in his mind, because this was around the time that she went missing last year.
That's true. Yeah, it was like October, right? Yeah, like the fall.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
that's
I
true.
wonder if that had anything to do with it, because of what happened and how it happened, and yeah.
That's right. I mean, and that's one of those things. Maybe I'm not gonna say he didn't think about it. I'm sure it's popped him in his mind, but trying to push through, and then the day comes and it's like, oh fuck, the world just fucking smacked you in the face.
He tried to get back in the game with shit that's been going around, right? But he didn't even really like take a break to just not get over it, but just be with his family, I guess, because you're still in the training room constantly. You still have to prepare.
Yeah, well, this year anyway. I mean, obviously he pulled out of the fight with Overeem the first time out of grief and worry, and
Yeah.
it seemed like very soon in the year, maybe like January, February, is when Dana and him started talking like, I might come back soon. And I think everyone had that worry, like, is it too soon? Because shit, I think a lot of people thought like he may not fight because damn, he may not fight for a while. He wanted to come back soon, which I applaud. But yeah,
Yeah.
that was kind of gonna be my question. Like, should he take a break, and what exactly constitutes a break? Like, I don't think the UFC is gonna trip on him. Like, no, you got to take a fight. We want to see you back in there. I think Dana has at least that much of a heart.
Yeah.
But what's a break for him? You know, what can be healthy? And is it like to take a break, or like stay in the gym, keep training, but just not every day? Like, you know, what does a break constitute for someone in his situation? It's not like he's hurt, not physically anyway.
Yeah, because I mean, a real break. He needs a real break. Like, get out of, thinking about preparing, because I mean, that's his job. So maybe he needs to pull out of that. You know what I mean? Like, it's still going to be in your head that you have to prepare for an upcoming fight. You know, what you need to do next, in the next fight. And, man, I think he just needs to just pull it back a little bit and, I don't know, maybe spend time with his family or go see a counselor. Or, I mean, what do you say? Like, what advice can you give somebody like that? Like, that's gone through so much. It's so hard to talk about Walt, man. I really wanted him to win. It made me so sad, man.
You know what? As sad as it was, and it was, I was really happy for Volkov though. I mean, that was a hell of a performance. It's just hard to like
Yeah.
give him full credit because you like Walt, but also, I mean, how much was he in that fight? You know?
Right. Mentally, was he there? Because
Yeah.
he was getting pieced up, man.
Yeah, he was like not fighting back like almost at all. It was like he wasn't shot or scared or nothing, but it was like, oh man, it didn't look like he trained.
Mm-mm.
Um,
Oh, so,
and,
yeah.
and was it just me or did he look a little bit bigger? Like I feel like he's always been
Yeah.
like a big imposing dude, but he looked a little bit softer. Is it just me?
No, no, no. I
Oh,
thought
okay.
the same way too. I mean, and yeah, right before we got on, I watched it again and I was like, yeah, maybe he should take a break to, mentally and physically get back in the game again.
You'd like to say like in this normal situation, like fuck, go on a vacation or you know what I mean? Like just try and do something fun with the wife or anything, but it's like fuck, we're in a pandemic, what can you do? And
All right.
economically, safety wise, like that's rough, man. It's rough, but as we talked about, this shit can make or break people. We've talked about that a lot personally. It's a whole other deal with Walt, man. I mean, his situation alone can make or break someone, and now you got to add a pandemic to it. Like everything's just exacerbated. I can't imagine obviously the pain he went through, but now having to deal with the world the way that it is too. And then all the emotions that come with fighting, like I think that's what people have, like, oh well, he's used to this, you know, he can just set shit aside. Like, nah man, like I don't care how much of a robot you are, like, you know, we're gonna talk about it later, not like everybody doesn't know, but I never thought in my life I'd see a Dagestani cry. And now we know that that is also possible. They have tears too. The hardest men will be emotional and cry in the sport. So that's not something that you can just push by the wayside. So props to Volkov, good win. All the best to Harris, and I hope he finds peace or just some type of help, whatever it may be. You know, we're no one to say. We're just suggesting, but only he knows, and hopefully he finds the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, moving on from that to the co-main event, Robert Whitaker won a decision over Jared Cannonier. Crazy fight. I mean, he took some ferocious leg kicks in the first round, started coming back in the second. It was still pretty close. I think most people had it Whitaker winning, but they knew it was going to be close. And then Cannonier almost gets finished in the third round. Tough as hell. You love to see it, but yeah, Whitaker looked as good as ever, and they got fight of the night out of that too. But I have no doubt that Cannonier will be back, just a matter of when. But it's kind of sucks that Whitaker lost because like I kind of feel like I don't know what this is gonna do with the timeline for him and Adesanya because I don't think anyone else can lay claim to that. I mean, I guess you could put Hermanson in there, but we all know he's not the number one guy.
No, no. I mean, I picked Jared to win actually. I picked Cannonier to win, so I was surprised because yeah, I thought he would be the one, and even Izzy was like, yeah, I look forward to fighting him if he gets past Whitaker, and it would have been a fun fight to watch, I think, but not the way that he was handled by Whitaker. And props to, Whitaker for being relaxed and not having so much pressure. And his family, I guess, brought out the best in him, right? Because basically that's what who he did it for.
Just to touch on this real quick before I forget, it's funny that he seems to be the next in line. We're both you and I, even though I picked Whitaker, we're kind of both going for Cannonier because we wanted him to see some new life in the division. It's funny how Cannonier is the fight that we would like to see more with Izzy, but I know for a fact that Whitaker is the closer fight. Like that fight will be closer. Like I have a feeling that Izzy would take out Cannonier.
Yeah.
But with Whitaker, like I know it's gonna be a close fight. I don't know. It's weird how I should want to see that fight more, but for some reason, Cannonier was just more intriguing. I don't know. Maybe it's just the build, big gigantic Adonis dude.
Yeah.
But
well, I guess Cannonier had like a broken arm in the first round or something, or that first fucking kick.
That's right. Yes.
So like, I wonder, like, had he been healthy the entire fight, what would it look like? But we'll never know. We're not going to get a rematch or anything.
Well, which would kind of make sense why that head kick landed in the third, right? Maybe like he probably could have put his hands up and moved out of the way, but one less arm can't really block that shit, and got through and dropped them. But to get back to the family point though that you were talking about, Whitaker mentioned a lot about this in the post-fight press conference. He was just saying, I don't give a shit about fighting right now, about the title, about any of that. I just want to go home to my family, want to spend the holidays with them, and then we'll see what's up after that. Someone even alluded, I don't remember the reporter's name, but someone basically said like, okay, good, you want to be with your family, but what if the opportunity passes you by? And he kind of just said like, well, it is what it is, He said, I know I'm going to fight Izzy again, that's going to happen. One way or another is going to happen, but if it doesn't happen right now, okay, I'll come back. He just said like, you line them up, I'll drop them. That's what I always do, so I don't care. But I'm going to fight him at one point, but right now I just want to be with my family, so...
Good.
It's right. It's kind of fitting actually that we're just talking about that with the Wall Harris situation. Obviously, a very different situation, tragic situation, but maybe this is the thing that people need to do. And I definitely feel like this is a pandemic talking right here. You know what I mean? Like I think it's probably put his set his priorities straight.
Right. And plus he has the upper hand right now too. It's not like he was what, a year ago, 2 years ago, where everybody was shitting on him.
Getting fucked up by Romero on the constant basis, even though he was winning.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure like Yoel changed his life a little too, took part of his soul as well. I mean, he had to fight the man 2 times. Fuck. Yeah, right now he really does have the upper hand. He doesn't have to worry about shit right now. Especially with him like enjoying playing games and shit and online and
I was gonna say, I know you're gonna bring up
just chilling and loving life and not having to worry, in the world right now. I mean, he almost died because of what, a hernia? He could have died. The man could have died. So putting all that in perspective, it's like, yeah. When the time comes to fight for the belt. It's just good to see him in good spirits. Like I saw part of that, like the press conference and him smiling and laughing. And good on you, man. And your big ass smile.
He's winning you back?
Yeah, man.
Even though he's still a gamer nerd?
No, that's cool. Like if he's making money off of that, good for him. He doesn't have to like constantly fight.
Ah, so you're okay with nerds so long as they make money, huh? I see.
Well, I
I
mean,
see.
good for him. He doesn't have to get his head bashed in. Maybe he can.
That's-
It's the same as DJ too, right? He's making extra cash on Twitch,
it's
right?
OnlyFans for men.
Right? For real.
Well, there's girls on Twitch too, but weirdly enough, they kind of use it as like a gateway to OnlyFans as well. So, man, the 21st century is weird. I think about that shit sometimes. When I was a little kid, like people are gonna pay to watch other people play video games.
You know, I used to watch DJ play games, and it was before it was a thing.
That's
Now I don't
I've
even
never
watch it.
gotten that. I know
Yeah.
all the kids are into it. I've never gotten it. I always feel like an old man. I'm like, what the fuck am I missing here? But I've just never gotten it.
For some reason, I just found it entertaining. I don't watch it now. I don't have that much time anymore, but yeah, I'd watch him. As soon as he went live, I was like, "Cool, let's watch the champ."
Yeah, see, like obviously being a man, I understand the appeal with OnlyFans, but it's still the idea is kind of wild, like paying for a girl's nudes. It's not like it's not Playboy. It's not like this magazine fucking thing. And sometimes it's not even all that raunchy, you know. It's just like,
Right?
what?
I was about to say that. Like, hello, there's some people that just post the same shit from Instagram over to OnlyFans, right?
Yeah, that tends to be a little scam that some girls got going on.
Yep.
But but the real ones, they're the ones making the money, so they laugh last on making calendars and shit.
Right? Oh yeah. Speaking of calendars, we're gonna have to go in on that calendar, that one calendar, that Beck one.
I told you, you already know where your Christmas present's gonna be.
Oh man.
I think it's been like 2 straight months where we've somehow brought it back to OnlyFans. It's always
Yeah.
a way. Yep, always a way.
Well, they're like talking about it all the time, so like,
No, it's like I said a few weeks ago in one of the last episodes. Like it fascinates me to no end. We can talk about that economically, socially, politically, of the ramifications of women selling their nudes online. It's a great thing for all parties involved, I feel, but there's still controversy around that. So, the fuck, you know. But again, we never thought we'd expect ourselves to be in this situation in general. So,
hey man,
yeah.
I guess COVID did some good for some people.
Yeah, there's always winners and losers, right? I mean, it feels like there's a
Yeah.
lot of losers right now. No,
Yeah.
no disrespect, but hey, man, mentality's everything right now. Aside from having lost a family member or something like that, mentality's everything right now, and it's testing everyone to one extent or another. I guess that segues perfectly into the main event with battles and hardship. Khabib Nurmagomedov moved to 29-0, submitting Justin Gaethje with one of the sickest triangles I've ever seen. So much has been made about the retirement and his record and the GOAT and all this stuff. I don't think people have realized how phenomenal that finish was. But yeah, he submitted Justin Gaethje. He took it to him. He was the aggressor in the fight. I never thought in my life I'd say this. I said earlier about Dagestani crying. I never thought I'd see Justin Gaethje fight timidly, and both of those things happened.
Dude, he almost submitted him twice because had the bell not rung at the end of the first round, I think he would have got him right there.
I really think like Khabib just went Super Saiyan. I really do. Like,
For
yeah,
real.
no, you're right. Like, yeah, he very well could have submitted him in the first round had there been time. And I think he probably did that on purpose. Like, I'm gonna take you down in the last few seconds to show you, like, you go down, you're fucked. Like, I'm gonna just show you what's up. And the next round did it, and then I don't even think it was 30 seconds from the minute that his ass hit the mat to when he was out unconscious. He immediately got to mount, immediately started hitting him, got the mounted triangle, and then just didn't even like roll smoothly into it, just like jumped his way into it,
Yeah.
went on his back and just like synced it in right away. Like it wasn't the most fluid thing you ever see. It wasn't Damian Maya. It wasn't like some, 10th planet shit. It was like the way he wrestles, just brutal and fast and violent. And yeah, he's
Yeah.
fuck. I mean, how many times Jason Herzog fucked up and not catching the tap too? But how many times did Gage tap and still went out? Like
Yeah.
that
I
was
wonder what happened there. Like, did he just not understand what was going on? Like, because it was just a basic submission?
it was no Herzog's a smart guy. I think what happened was I honestly think he got caught in the moment. Like I don't think he
He was like, what
considered
the
the
fuck? A
fact,
triangle? Like,
yeah,
what
that
the?
Khabib could pull off a triangle and that Gaethje would tap to a triangle. I think that's why he's like, nah, this is not gonna tap. He's gonna go out.
That was fucking insane, though. I watched it over and over and over again. I'm like, how the fuck did that happen?
I
I
really
think
think.
I think that was like one of the first triangles ever, right? In a championship fight to finish somebody like that.
I mean, like Anderson finished Chael with a triangle.
Was it a triangle too? Okay.
But yeah, for sure. Now that you mention it, it is rare. I don't remember too many triangles to win like championship fights. Yeah, that's pretty rare. I think. Yeah.
That was insane. Insane. Yeah, like you were saying, like Gaethje looked timid. And I thought that was interesting too, because when he went out, Trevor was like, you need to calm the fuck down or something. Do you remember that? It was like, you need to calm down and focus or some shit
Yeah, I
because
just said
he was,
slow it down. Yeah, like just
yeah,
breathe, chill. Yeah.
he wasn't the same guy that fought Tony. He was just like, I don't know, deer in the headlights look. Like he didn't understand what the fuck was going on because Khabib was just like going after him. Did not respect him whatsoever. It was just constantly in his face.
It
And,
may have been some kind of mental block too. I think like maybe what he said got to him. Like I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be here. Like yeah, he was saying that with Tony too in a way,
mm-hmm.
but it was also like I'm not supposed to be here. So, but make the best of it. I think with this one is like, hey, if you lose, you lose, and it somehow just manifested to where like he didn't really care that he lost. Whereas Tony, I think he wanted to prove something like you're not supposed to be here, but you're gonna beat him.
Damn.
Yeah, and then there is the factor too. We can't overlook it. As much as I love Gagey, Tony did cut weight a month
Yeah.
beforehand, and he's a big dude, so that always could have worked against him. Not taking anything away from Justin, but that is a factor. I mean, Khabib had a broken foot coming in or a broken toe coming into this fight. That's no joke. But that's what I'm saying. Like when he was talking about going Super Saiyan, like I really think he could have taken it 2-3 rounds and pounded him out and just wrestle fuck the shit out of him and show him what's up. But I think he's like, I gotta show how good I am. I gotta make my father proud. And I think third and most importantly over anything, I want to get the fuck out of here. Like I might not be able to do this a couple more rounds. Like I gotta get out of here. If I can stop it right now, I gotta stop it.
Well, I was laughing because Khabib's foot was a balloon. If you saw the picture, like it was so fucking swollen. It was like his toe was broken in an awkward spot. And yeah, his foot was just all fucked up looking, man. So fuck you, Connor. He actually won with a broken toe.
Connor would probably just had the gout from all the drinking.
And I guess Khabib had mumps or something?
The fuck?
Yeah, he was struggling with mumps too.
I forget that there's all these weird diseases that still haven't been eradicated in some parts of the world.
Insane, man.
I mean, thank God it wasn't COVID. Not even to be a dick here. I mean, shit could have been worse, I guess. Mm-hmm. Jesus Christ.
Insane. I mean, I picked Gaethje to win, but I did tell you, I'm like, I would love to see, Khabib win and just ride off into the sunset and just be done with this. This is, his father's plan. Just be done with it. We thought it was going to be like that up until today, right? Now there's rumors that he could possibly come back.
Yeah, so I didn't hear this interview. You sent it to me a little shortly before we started. I don't know too much about this, but yeah, I guess the word is that he can come back, and it looks like it may be GSP, right?
Maybe. I mean, Ariel Helwani interviewed GSP right after that, Khabib fight. And they were talking, and yeah, GSP said, I'll be waiting if he's ready to go. Go ahead and just take your break and do what you need to do. But if you want to fight, I'll be ready to go. So I don't know if that was one of the reasons why this is now coming up. That yeah, maybe he's rethinking it because that's ultimately the final plan that his father wanted for his son, right? To be the best. And to be the best, you have to beat GSP. So I wonder if that has anything to do with it. Or maybe it also has to do with like John Jones talking shit. Because he's been talking shit since what? Saturday afternoon. For us it was Saturday afternoon, He's been talking shit. He's still talking shit. Today he's still talking shit. So I wonder if he pissed off, Khabib and was like, all right, let me beat GSP. Because even John Jones was like, yeah, if he comes back and beats GSP, then he's the GOAT. He said that. So maybe that's a trigger. I don't know. But I don't think he'll come back until he gets his mother's blessing.
Yeah, you have a good point there. I think, yeah, he needs to do that for sure because I know he was scared of his dad whooping his ass, but I'm sure his mom could whoop his ass too. And on the John Jones tip, obviously, this is a bit of a, he's probably getting talking points from Dana here somewhere. That this is, hey, look, a rising tide lifts all boats, right? Type thing. Yeah, I kind of want to tell John Jones the same thing that he used to tell all the people that used to talk shit to him on Twitter. Like, I genuinely feel bad for you, bro. I genuinely hope you find peace with all the shit talking he's been doing lately.
I mean, he tweeted something saying like, yeah, I'll just let the fans, decide who the GOAT is. And he keeps going and going and going and going. It's like, what the fuck? Do you have kids? Do you not have children? Don't you have a dog that you've been training? What happened to the dog? Like,
there's that fiance lady too.
I mean, oh yes, of course, that lady too, the fiance. You still haven't made plans to get married to her. Maybe this is a good time to go ahead and.
No, there's COVID, Reen. What if people get sick? I mean, come on, he can't rush these things.
I mean, the way he's going, like, hopefully, by the time we get an actual vaccine that works, they will have, wedding plans set to go. That could be a year from now, right? Because, I mean, look how long it's taking them. Right? So, hopefully, Jesus, man. It's like, how much time do you have? Like, making videos and shit. Like, jeez, man. For some reason, I just feel like he shouldn't be doing that, number one, because does it really help his stock?
I get a lot of like Mayweather vibes from Jones sometimes, like no bad press, no such thing as bad press, and just keep your name out there. Is the same reason why Mayweather will do like one interview a year of I might fight Conor, I might fight Pacquiao again. Oh, I'm in so and so's corner. I'm at so and so fight just to get my face and my name out there. Like,
well, that's different than being a whiny little bitch, though. You're supposed to be the GOAT. Why are you sounding like a whiny little bitch?
I can't answer that for you.
Right? That's what he sounds like. He's a whiny little bitch. You're supposed to be the GOAT. Act like it. No, he doesn't act like that. He goes back and forth. Oh, let me put my phone down. I'm going to call it a night, guys. 20 minutes later, he's like texting. He's like tweeting, I mean.
Can you imagine John Jones during a breakup?
Oh my God.
Fuck you, bitch. I'm done with you. Click. 20 minutes later. Babe, come on. Seriously, are we really done? For real?
Yeah, Jesus. Maybe that's why they're still engaged.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. Oh.
She's like, I can't do this shit. He's like, come on, baby.
Oh, God.
Man.
I'm like blushing. I'm fucking embarrassed from it. We're just talking shit. We're not even knowing that. And I just feel like that's too strong of a probability that it's probably true.
Right? Like how long? Because they were together since they were kids, right?
I mean, essentially, yeah. I mean, at least 10 years. Yeah.
What the fuck? That's a long ass engagement, man.
The engagement may be like 7 years or so, but still,
That's still, I mean, come on.
it's a full tax audit limit. That's bad.
Huh? Like they can claim each other, right?
Yeah.
Right? They're whatchamacallit? Ah, fuck. I can't remember the
Dependents?
word. No. What's the? They're married, but they're not. In the eyes of the law, it's called shit. I forget.
A union, like a civil.
I forget what the term is. But by law, they can't because they've been together for so long.
Oh, yeah, I think that's more
Com-
down. I wasn't aware of that. Yeah, you may have to.
common. I don't know. I fuck it. But anyways, yeah, they can do that because it's been 10 years. Like 19, right? He was 19, like you said. Like
19 or 20, I think. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And then God knows how long they dated before that. You know,
Mhm.
if yeah, I don't know. John Jones is gonna fuck us up if he ever sees this. Maybe we shouldn't go to any more UFC fights because
No, man, he's gonna chase us and be like, "Come on, look, guys." You know, he'll try to plead his case, and we'll turn around and like be like, "Fuck you, John." He'll be like, "No, no, no,
see,
no,
Irene,
please, come on, guys."
you're gonna have to take the rap. We're gonna have to have spray paint. You're gonna have to like spray paint Antifa shit on the walls. And then I have to come behind you like, no, bro, that ain't the way. And he's gonna have to take the paint from you. And then I have to like ride his dick and be like, yeah, fuck you, Antifa. Be ruining our city. And then I'll just leave you out in the cold, as some people like to do right now.
God damn it.
I fucking hate John Jones. We're talking about Khabib and it goes to this shit. He brings it
Sorry.
down to his levels.
Sorry, I kind of like pushed that too, but yeah, like why does he? I thought it would be Connor really inserting himself, but
I wasn't even aware of what Connor said. Like I didn't even pay attention to that. I never do, but like I thought that would have been like front page news.
Right? Well, actually, it was. He was trending because of his statement. Like, yeah, respect to you and your family, sorry for your loss or something. And then he's like, I'll move on.
Oh, okay. I read that. I moved on, but I thought that was the end of it. Like, okay. All right.
Yeah, so.
Sure, that's cool. I mean,
yeah.
Should say.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I mean, he was being, respectful. Unlike John Jones, but what the fuck, man? Again, Conor McGregor is trending on a Khabib day. Khabib, I can't say night because we didn't watch it at nighttime. This is a morning time for us. Khabib day, Like, fuck, man. Can you give him his shine?
He did for a minute. He was like, okay, until I fight again, you get that crown. I'll give that to you. And yeah. I don't know what happened after that, and I stopped paying attention.
God damn it.
But now we just have images and thoughts of John Jones and his relationship habits and trying to find ways for him to not beat our asses. And yeah. We're gonna have to talk about this more off air because this may have to be an elaborate plan. Rain. The day's coming.
Yeah. Well, then let's get back to Khabib then. So I was sad. I was happy. And kind of sad because he's like, yeah, I talked to my mom for 3 days. She didn't want me to fight, whatever. This is going to be our last one. And I was sad that he was walking away, especially where he's at. He's at the top of his game or whatnot. But I was like, yeah, I mean, if you don't feel it anymore, if your mom doesn't want to do it, doesn't want you to do it, I understand. And I thought I had closure. Because I was a little emotional and hurt that day. But yeah, this shit, man, with him possibly coming back and Dana talking to him, like this, you should have just left it alone. It was a beautiful story.
Since we have this thing to entertain, and we rarely do breaking type of news here because by the time it gets edited and everything comes out, the news cycle goes so fast. But let's entertain this for just a second. If this is what's gonna happen, if GSP is next in line, and if Khabib beats GSP, obviously he'll be the GOAT. I don't think there's a discussion about that. But if GSP beats Khabib, he has to be the GOAT too, right?
Yeah, I would think so. I think I was gonna be a smart ass and say, let's ask John Jones.
You suck, Green.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You just want to keep hating. That's just your problem. You just the hate oozes through your veins.
I know.
Oh, that's cool. That's why I love you. That's why we are who we are.
Dude, GSP is what, 39?
I think I want to say he's like 37 or 8.
Well, he's up there, man. He's up there. I wonder if it does happen, how it's going to go, because it's not going to be at 155.
Yeah.
So how would Khabib perform as well?
I mean, we know he cuts a fuckload of weight and he's strong as shit. I think he'll do fine. I'm pretty sure he's strong. He's bigger than GSP. If he's stronger, I'm not sure. You know,
it's going to be interesting. If this is true, I hope it is GSP and not Conor.
No, I don't think that's ever happening again. That's the thing. Is like you convinced me that Khabib can't be bought, and in this case, it seems like it's something that he can be bought. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of money in this, but yeah, at the end of the day, it's way more about legacy and then his dad. Like obviously, he loves his family more than anything, but if this is something his dad wanted, it's like, we'll kill two birds with one stone, cement your legacy, and do something that your dad would have wanted.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So what about this thing then? Does he still get to carry the belt? Does he still hold on to the belt if GSP does come back? How does that work? Will the lightweight division just move on or what? Because he's still up there in the rankings.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing, you got to put it in writing to get taken out of the USADA pool. I mean, remember, Henry Cejudo retired, and they gave away his belt like the next day. So there's no fucking telling what's going to happen here.
Dude, so many questions. See, can we go back to Saturday? That story was beautiful. He submitted him in the second round. You know, we all got emotional. He took off his gloves. He didn't even lay it down. He just tossed it on the canvas and he said what he had to say, and that was that. And everybody talked about it all fucking day, all fucking weekend. It was the story of the week. And then now here we are.
Alhamdulillah.
God damn it. Oh, Jesus.
I'm not even making fun of him. He just said it so much that like it got stuck in my head like all week.
Oh my God. I don't know why I'm laughing at it. It just doesn't sound right coming from you, man. Holy shit.
I'm going to put more.
Oh my God. I'm in tears right now. Oh my God.
That was like a throwaway line. I wasn't expecting any of that one. But...
Oh my God, I can't wipe the tears away. Just don't sound right, man.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
I think the whole how serious it was on Saturday and everything, and yeah, all this shit going on now. So much uncertainty. I get where you're coming from, and I guess only time will tell. The good thing is that it's lightweight, and there's so many great fighters there that wherever the belt goes, we're not gonna be like, oh, but he didn't deserve it. It's like everyone in there is at the top, and everyone in there probably would have lost to Khabib. So if that's the way to go, then okay, then we got to figure out the next guy. I mean, shit, people were talking shit about light heavyweight, again, to go back to John Jones real quick and just leave it here. People were mad about all that, but you know, even though nobody was really psyched for Dominic Reyes and Jan Blachowicz won the title, and people are like, yeah, that's cool. I'm cool with Jan Blachowicz being champion. So having Michael Chandler, Poirier, McGregor, Ferguson, any mix of those guys would be great.
Yeah, we'll see what happens, man. Who gets matched up with who? Because I guess Tony doesn't want to fight Michael Chandler. He's like, what's the point? He's not even ranked or anything.
That's that UFC elitism.
Yeah, right?
Yep.
I mean, I would be interested in it just to see how he would fare with Tony.
You just want to see Chandler in there already.
Dude, it seems like they're like pushing for him to fight somebody because UFC had like a video clip of him. Like,
I think
oh, multiple champion, he was a wrestler, he's this, he's that. They're like trying to really like market him.
Dana knows too. Like he made weight. He did his job on Friday. If shit hit the fan, and I think he respects that because there's a lot of fighters that have been paid for that, or that were supposed to do that, that were expected to make weight and do the whole thing. And shit, even Cannonier. I remember he was supposed to do that. It was a big fight not too long ago. And I think even he missed weight. Like people just go sometimes and just they know that it's not coming and they're like, ah, fuck it, whatever, I won't make weight. I think he respects the fact that like he went in there and did his job. And I think he knows he can like probably trust him in those positions.
Was he the backup for Yoel and Costa? Was that it? I don't remember.
It was some type of big fight. I forget what it was, but yeah, like I remember he didn't make weight for whatever the fight was. Didn't matter because it's happened, but like I think he respected like okay, he knew it was gonna happen, but he still did his job. May have something
Yeah.
to do with that.
Yeah. Well, Chandler is what? I don't know. Maybe he likes him because he speaks well. He's a good-looking kid. Plus, it's a big fuck you to Scott Coker. Who knows? Because there's always the angle with Dana. So
Yeah, I kind of mentioned it last week.
new blood.
There's the whole angling for better pay and all that stuff too that he has a part to do with. So there
Yeah.
may be like politics and whatnot involved in there too.
Yeah.
But aside from all that, we can go on and on with would have, could have, should have's and what would happen with lightweight. But we can't tell the future, so we're just here to tell you what happens when it happens, and whatever happens will be great. This will not be a clusterfuck like flyweight or some other weight classes where everything just goes to shit. This will be fun and exciting however it goes down. So all right, so enough for the UFC 254 rewind. Let's get into the preview of UFC Vegas. So there's some recognizable fighters on this card. It's not like they're all no names, but they're just not really facing anyone of note. Kevin Holland's on here, Bobby Green, Courtney Casey, Sean Strickland, but they just don't really have intriguing matchups. So we're not really going to go down with any of them. We're just going with the main and the co-main. So we'll start with the co-main. Bryce Mitchell and Andre Feely. I think we got psyched just when we read the announcement here on the show a few months ago, right?
Yeah. And then Gary Tonin was at the gym with Philly training for this fight back in August? End of August? So I didn't get to watch the training, but I can imagine Gary was training Philly on how to, defend the twister and whatnot.
Oh no, Tonin's from Danaher, right?
Yeah. Henzo Gracie. Yep. That team, East Coast, came all the way out here to help out.
Does he still live in the States, or because I know he fights for one? I don't know why I sometimes feel like a lot of those dudes are living overseas.
Yeah, he's still here. He's just been waiting for a fight. That's what I asked him. Like, when are you gonna end up fighting? Because I was like asking him, like, what are you doing here? At our gym. He's like, oh yeah, I'm just preparing, Philly for an upcoming fight. And I'm like, what? And I totally forgot that it was, he's gonna fight Bryce Mitchell. And then yeah, I asked him like, when is your fight coming up? And he's like, I don't know. I'm just with this, COVID and lockdown, like I don't know when I'm gonna fight. So I'm just waiting for a contract. So, but it sounds like now he has an upcoming fight or he's preparing for one or something. Because yeah, we can travel some, but who knows how long that's gonna last.
Obviously, Andre Feely is over preparing for Bryce Mitchell by getting Gary Tonin, which is not a bad thing. But I got to think, if I'm Bryce Mitchell, I got to be kind of flattered if I know Andre Feely's going out of his way to get Gary Tonin in order to prepare for me.
Right? I mean, considering the fact that what Bryce Mitchell learned the twister watching Eddie Bravo videos, he didn't actually go to 10th Planet or anything. He like watched videos. He's like, okay, let me try that. And that's been his thing. Like he's gotten 2 submissions off of it, 2 sub finishes, I believe, or was it 3? I don't think it was 3, but I mean, he's a fucking like amazing grappler. So
I find it funny that he he is that embodiment of that like impromptu hillbilly. He's like if he wasn't fighting, he'd be a mechanic. Like he'd be watching YouTube videos all day on how to fix a car, and he's the type of guy that in a few months he can like fucking take out your motor and disassemble everything and put it back and like, oh, good as new.
Right? I guess where he trains, there's like a river or something or somewhere.
But he's from Arkansas. I mean,
Yeah, I bet, yeah. I
fucking
guess he
redneck
went
ingenuity, man.
he went fishing or something, or did he go hunting? I forgot what it was. It's been a while. But yeah, right after training, he went out and just got his lunch, got his meal.
Just from nature.
Yeah, it's just like that. So I can understand why he wanted those camo shorts.
He's about that life. The
About
camo is
that.
not just
Yep. I hope
it's
Philly
it's
hope
not just a
Philly's
fashion
prepared,
statement, man.
right? Hope Philly's prepared. He's gonna have his camo shorts.
I want to know, like, is the UFC like, is this up for grabs now, or is this exclusively reserved for Bryce?
I guess it's just for him, right? Because he's been asking and asking. And I heard he said that he was going to if he didn't get his shorts, he was gonna actually run
Yeah,
into the cage, right? With his own camo shorts. Like, yeah, just rip those bitches off, those sweatpants off, and then just run in there. And if nobody's gonna stop him, if security wants to tackle him, well, he's gonna fight those dudes too. He doesn't
he
care.
was ready to start a fucking revolution for the goddamn camo shorts, man.
Yep. So maybe they're like, oh, never mind. Let's give him his shorts. He earned it. I wonder if you can get those yourself. I didn't
Yeah,
look
that's what I
yet.
mean. Like, can you buy them? Can anyone else get them? Is this a
I
one-time
know,
only
right?
deal? I gotta imagine it's not a one-time only deal. But then can
I wonder.
Fighter X, can you know what I mean? Like, can Jessica and Josh come out in camo shorts in her next fight? Can just anyone do this now?
I know, right?
Yeah.
But will there be a market for shorts that short? I mean, camo shorts. Like, there's a lot of
Are they
Arkansas
gonna be like?
dudes that wear shorts that short, or
Are they gonna be like fucking Hicks out in the woods wearing these shorts?
right while hunting or whatever. Like,
It's hot today. They want to wear the pants, so I'm gonna wear the shorts.
huh? We can see your legs, bro.
Just fluorescent.
Oh shit. But yeah, good on him for getting those camos, man. I mean, I don't understand camo anything.
Yeah,
So
because you don't hunt.
yeah, I don't get it, but hey man, he wants his shorts. He knows what he wants, so good on him for making it happen.
That's something that you can really respect, right? Knowing when a man, a man that knows what he wants, right?
Yeah, seriously. I mean, it's taken him what, over a couple years to campaign for this? So maybe
At
that's
least,
another reason too. Like Reebok's almost going out the door anyway, so they're like, "Fuck it,
yeah. What does
we'll
it hurt
make it
now,
happen."
right? Yeah,
Yeah,
we can say we did it. By the time he fights again, they're probably already gonna be gone.
right? Well, yeah, huh? Because when is Venom coming?
I think like mid-year, like April or June or something.
Oh shit, man! They haven't like released anything yet on what the new, you know, whatchamacallit, uniforms or what are they called? Uniforms? What are they called?
Hey, Dana called it uniform
Uniforms, right?
like a week or two ago. So he
Fucking
needs to watch the fuck out. If I'm
right.
Ari, or I'd fucking lock his ass in a room and tell him what the fuck is up.
Uniforms.
We
Fucking
need to
Power
delete that
Rangers.
video.
Huh.
Yeah, because there's still a class action lawsuit going on. But anyway, neither here nor there. To get back to the fight, Feely still coming back. Just beat Charles Jourdain not too long ago. Feely had that ridiculous fight with what's his name, Charles Rosa, just
Yep.
scrambling like a bunch of lizards. So yeah, they've been pretty impressive lately, and this is clearly striker versus grappler, as we alluded to. Feely's training with Tonin. He, in all likelihood, should be well prepared for this. Bryce does what Bryce wants. Bryce does what he does, and yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen the kid strike. I don't even know if he can box for the shit. But I guess with how good his grappling is, what does it matter, right?
Yeah, seriously.
I, I sometimes wonder if Bryce even wears a cup anymore after his incident with the shorts. Dude, if the Reebok's gonna go all out, they need to put like some kind of like cup already installed with the shorts, or like a tie steel cup or something, so he doesn't have another incident because that man mangled his balls.
Huh, Diamond Cup. So is it operational? It's good, right? He have kids?
I don't know.
That's
And
crazy,
do we
bro.
really want him to? I mean, you kind of
Not
do, but you
really.
kind of don't.
Not really.
Jesus Christ, man. It's weird. I love that kid. Like we share like nothing in common, yet we do. I fucking love that kid. But
Oh,
to get down to the whole point of this, I really think this is a 50-50 matchup
yeah.
because I can easily see Bryce get knocked out, and I can easily see Philly getting submitted. I think both are just as likely as one another. I'm gonna say just because I think Feely over prepared with bringing in Tonin, he can probably get up off the floor, and if he can probably get up off the floor, he can probably win a decision or knock him out. So I'm gonna say Feely.
Whew, okay. I'm not really sure. I mean, I should go with Philly, but Bryce, man, he's just so nasty on the ground. Yeah, he Philly brought in Gary Tonin, and yeah, he trains at Alpha Male, and but I don't know, man. Bryce, he's so nasty, thug nasty. So I'm gonna go opposite. I'm gonna go opposite of you.
Damn. All
I
right,
know,
but a
right?
little dissension is good. It's just weird that I'm going for the NorCal guy,
I know, right? It's crazy.
the alpha male guy. But no, that's cool. It's cool. A
And
little
every time
dissension.
I went for him, he always like lets me down.
Yeah, I get you. I get you. Straight up. So yeah, that's the co-main event. So let's get into the main event. Possibly as of today, we're saying possibly Anderson Silva's last fight. As of last week, it was most likely Anderson Silva's last fight against Uriah Hall. Fight that should have happened around what 4 years ago, UFC 198. It's happening now. Anderson has not fought since Cannonier damn near broke his leg again in May of last year in Rio. And then I didn't see Uriah Hall has not fought since September of last year. So lengthy layoffs for both. So we'll see if ring rust is an issue for either or both. I don't know what to make of this fight.
I don't know either. They're
I mean,
not really talking about this fight all that much. Well, but then again, I haven't really been on social media much this week.
it's fun. It's fun. I get it. And Anderson's a legend, but it should be his last fight to be good. But I don't know. Hall could knock him the fuck out, but he also has a tendency to just get knocked out by Derek fucking Brunson of all people. I it if Anderson Silva wins this, I am not at all surprised. If he wins this via like flying head kick, I would not be surprised. But I would not be surprised if Anderson Silva gets deaded either. And I think both of those possibilities kind of scare me.
Yeah, I don't know. I think what was yeah, Izzy said to Hall like just make it basic and you'll be fine.
Well, yeah, I would take his word for it. He figures something out.
Right? So yeah, I don't know what to make. This is 5 rounds?
Yes.
Oh Jesus.
It could be a fucking snooze fest too. That's the other very high probability of this because Hall, again, can shit the bed and he can get awestruck for sure. And Anderson, we've seen the Damian Maya fight. We've seen like,
Yeah.
he does this sometimes.
Yeah, and Hall he's still an emotional guy, right? I just want him to like just go full on like just be that mean guy. Just like just turn off being the nice guy. Just be a bad guy. and just unleash everything. I mean, like he was so promising. That crazy ass, like that spinning head kick or whatever.
Mm-hmm. That's what
That
I'm
was when he
saying.
was trying out too. So it's like, where's that guy at? We've been waiting and waiting and waiting for this, and still nothing. Like, just can you just trigger something there and just like let it all go? I don't think that'll ever happen, man.
I don't think it's that easy. Not for him.
Yeah.
So I guess to not go too long with this, I'll go out there and I'll say that I just cannot trust Hall. I'm actually gonna pick Anderson to win in this one. I don't know
Oh
how. I'm
shit.
not that
Yeah.
bold, but I think Anderson will win.
I'll go opposite then.
Again, I think this is another one of those 50-50 fights, but for the complete opposite of Mitchell and Feely, that's like a genuinely competitive matchup of this is gonna happen or this is gonna happen. With this one, it's like it can be boring as shit. It can be super exciting, or someone's just gonna show up and someone's not. Like
Dude, you know what? You completely sold me on my Mexican cheat meal with fucking Modelo. I'm gonna have to pick up a 6 pack of Modelo or something
how did we come back to the cheat meal?
because that's when I'm gonna have my cheat meal, which is on Saturday, and it sounds
Oh,
like
okay, gotcha.
I'm going to need it. It might make me full and I might just pass out,
Yeah, you might.
or I might just get overloaded and drunk and then pass out. Who knows? I might need it by then, right?
Yeah, you might. That's a good point. Yeah.
So,
I'm writing it down right now. Set in
yeah,
stone. You're gonna do it.
yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Good for you, Irene. You've earned it. That does it for the UFC Vegas card. So let's get into some headlines. So all the headlines are basically cuts and fighters that have pulled out of fights. That's like all the headlines are this week. Well, I guess we'll start with the most recent one. There's a Bellator fight tonight. Just happened. I think as of last I read, I think Gegard Mousasi beat Douglas Lima, if I read that correct before we went on air. But Veta Arteaga and Nick Newell were supposed to fight tonight on the Bellator card, and they got diagnosed with COVID, so both their fights got scrapped.
Oh
So
shit.
yeah, I mean, again, with this shit, sometimes it's nothing, sometimes it's very serious. But just one of those things you want to keep your eye out on because you never know what can happen. So, best wishes. Hope they recover quick. The fights are done, so that's old news, but it is something that happened. Thought we should address it. I guess to keep on the Bellator thing, since it seems relevant. A bunch of fighters have been cut. Actually, 31 of them. And amongst them have been Roy Nelson, Frank Mir, and Joe Warren, who I had no idea was still fighting. Jesus fucking Christ, man. That guy's ancient. Joe Warren, I guess, had been cut. And Rafael Lovato Jr., John Fitch, and Pat Curran, another guy that I had no idea was still fighting, they informed Bellator that they've retired. So I guess those 6 fighters are amongst another 25 fighters who have been cut. So I guess like anybody in the entertainment industry, which Viacom is definitely in, they went to their accounting department and they had to make some tough decisions and they cut all these guys. I don't think there's anyone that'll be, too surprising. Roy Nelson, Frank Mir, Joe Warren. I mean, these aren't guys that were making big headlines in Bellator, but still very recognizable names and crazy that's 31 fighters.
That is a lot of cleanup. I thought Frank Mir signed with not Bellator, Bare Knuckle.
I would not be surprised if that's the case, but I don't think I heard of that.
Yeah, I thought he signed with Bare Knuckle or something, and that's why he got cut, or the contract negotiations didn't work out or something.
Yeah, that's news to me. I hadn't kept up with all that. I know his daughter made her debut last week. That's the only thing I had heard about Frank Mir lately.
Yeah, I think
Or,
somebody else too. I don't think it was Roy Nelson. No, somebody else. Shit, I forgot the name, but yeah, I noticed like Joe Schilling got cut. And I'm like, damn.
oh, shit, him too. Well, I'm not
I
all that
mean,
surprised either, but yeah.
yeah, but he was a face, and well, then again, they haven't been able to do kickboxing. cards. Because they
Anybody
used to do that.
really? Yeah, nobody really. I think like K1 in Japan is like the only ones. And then I mean one doesn't even really count because they just throw random fights in there with MMA fights. So
Yeah. So they weren't able to do that big, dynamite kickboxing slash MMA cards for a while there. They're just trimming it down and trying to save money. And maybe there's another angle to it too. Like, they're going to be on CBS. And it sounds like they're going to be on CBS, every Thursday?
yeah,
So maybe what they're trying to do is just get rid of some of the old fighters, some fighters that don't have such a good record, and try to, scout for other ones, for other fighters because of the network that they're on. Revamp things.
that is very possible too. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. That's a good point. So we'll see where they end up. Probably all bare knuckle fighting, if we're being honest. Yeah, except for Rafael Lovato Jr. and John Fitch are the only ones where I'm like, okay, keep calling Rafael. It's Rafael Lovato Jr. He's not Brazilian. I actually like, and I know he had some health issues, so good for him for retiring. I believe him when he does. John Fitch has done so much anyway, and I don't see why he'd stay around, so I believe him. Pat Curran, Joe Warren, those guys, I'm not sure about. I have no fucking idea. I have no fucking idea how they'll end up. Probably bare knuckle though. Probably. To get back on the UFC front, Jeremy Stevens is pulled out of the fight with Arnold Allen. It's supposed to be happening in a few weeks. Undisclosed injury. And say what? Obviously, nowadays it was always a thing of maybe pissed hot. Although USADA doesn't seem to be doing their job recently, so possibly COVID. Some people don't want to talk about it. You don't have to disclose it, so there's also that possibility. So it's unfortunate. No replacement bout that I've heard as of yet, but that was supposed to be a good fight.
Dude, I wonder what will, how will Stevens handle this one? Because he's been, on a losing streak, and then now he has to pull out of a fight. So mentally, like, how is this going to affect him?
Maybe it's good for him. I don't. Oh, he fought Cater earlier. That was still a bad knockout. I mean, he could be recovered, but he's getting older. Maybe this is kind of a blessing in disguise. I'm sure he's hating it, but maybe for his own health, probably a good thing. I mean,
Right.
hopefully if it's COVID or something, it's not bad. Hopefully he's asymptomatic. Hopefully if he's injured, it's not too bad of an injury, but hopefully this time off will do him good.
Yeah, I hope so. Or maybe it's a mental breakdown that he had because all the shit that's been going on. Because he's not really all there with trying to keep all his emotions together. You know what I mean? So I wonder if he's all right.
That is also a good possibility. You're all right about that. Never know. I would think it would more likely be like an actual injury or COVID though. I would think. I don't think he'd actually like say that. I think he'll
Yeah.
go through help because he doesn't pull out fights.
Yeah, and I like Stevens. I'm not trying to talk shit. Man, it just sucks. All the shit that he's been going through, losing fights and, back to back with, Yair and how that went. And yeah, it's been a rough one for him.
Yeah, and then another injury, a story that I actually felt conflicted about putting on here, but I mean, it's Robbie Lawler. We're all of the opinion that Robbie Lawler shouldn't fight anymore, so this is probably a good thing.
Yup.
He was scheduled to fight Mike Perry, and
Yeah.
he's had his controversy as of late. Seems like Perry was calling for Till and or Chimaev.
Yep.
Last I heard, obviously Chimaev, we're gonna talk about later. He has a fight coming up, so it's not gonna be him. Till, yeah, it'd be entertaining, but I know Mike Perry's not the only one who's had the issue that he's had with domestic abuse, and I've seen other guys. I mean, I've watched Greg Hardy fight. I know that's not okay to say since everyone like boycotts his fights. I've seen him fight. Yeah, I wanted to see him get knocked out. It didn't happen. I don't like feel bad about it. I don't like him being on the roster, but it is what it is. But in this case, like, yeah, I even with Robbie, like I probably would have tuned out of this fight. I like Robbie. I don't want to see him get hurt. And then with Perry, with just his pregnant girlfriend in the corner, that could have happened. And Perry's not a guy I want to see him lose to. So yeah, I probably would have bailed on that one.
Right.
So yeah, I think this is a good thing.
Yeah, I'm
It's
not
just
complaining.
it's just wild that the UFC seems intent on keeping this fight. And you think if there was like a sign from God, like, hey Dana, maybe just take this guy out too right now because he doesn't really have the best publicity. At the very least, even if you don't give a shit about the issue, just let him sit out for a month or two. Just let the situation die down if it does. You know, people might forget. Try to play it smart, something, something. But I'm sure he'll be intent. I'm sure he's on the phone right now as we speak, trying to get a replacement for him.
Well, I like that it got called off because I did not want to see it. And yeah, whatever antics behind it, like the girlfriend being there cornering again, I did not care to watch it. And possibly, Robbie getting his ass beat. So cool. Like next.
God works in mysterious ways, I guess.
Right? God. Even though that dude took anger management classes, but whatever. Did you know that the UFC got him to take anger management classes?
Did he actually take them?
Oh, well, I guess.
Or was that just the thing, like just sign up for this shit and you don't necessarily have to go, just to show that you were intent on going?
It's possible. Maybe like an online shit. Like just push play. Just let it ride, Just let it go.
And then when he like Hulk rages out and he fucking throws his laptop across the room, what's the counselor supposed to do then?
Right? Yeah.
Sad, fucked up shit all around. Sorry about that, folks. But watching a sport where these type of people exist, and plenty of people still want to see them fight. There's plenty of people who read that news and were actually upset about it. I got psyched for a second because I'm like, oh my god, the UFC probably did the right thing and pulled Perry out. Nope, that was Robbie, and no word of Perry. So what can you do? Watching a shit sport, we're gonna get shit like this too. Gotta expect it. But that does it for headlines. Let's get into some matchups. So, to get back on the Bellator talking point, because we don't really talk about them too much, and this fight looks to be happening next week, Austin Vanderford, a.k.a. Mr. Paige Van Zandt, is going to be taking on Chris Curtis. I can never say his name right, because his nickname is Curtis. Chris Curtis. They're going to be fighting the Bellator 251 card, the main card. This is going to be an interesting fight. Chris Curtis is a journeyman, but he's a hell of an entertaining one. I'm still pissed off to this day because he went on Dana White's Contender Series and Sweet Chin Music, a dude, finished him with a side kick to the face. And Dana did not give him a contract. He gave it to some, I want to say this is the time he gave Greg Hardy a contract. Some really undeserving motherfucker that got a contract over him. And I think he had even retired after this because he said, I'm sick of this bullshit. Then he went to PFL and he lost. And he's been all over, but never got his chance in the UFC. And then I don't think I've ever seen Austin Vanderford fight, but I'll definitely see him fight Chris Curtis because I'm going to be rooting for Chris in this one.
I don't think I've seen Vanderford fight either, now that you mention it. Yeah. Oh, I didn't even know who he was until he married, what's her name? Paige, so.
Yeah, I don't think anyone did. But, I mean, I really don't know if I've ever seen him fight because I can't even tell you if he's a wrestler or a black belt, jiu-jitsu black belt, or a kickboxer. Like, I don't know. I've never seen him fight.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about him.
I wonder if Paige is going to be in his corner.
All I know is he got COVID and gave it to Paige. He gave it to her.
I was going to say, do they share the same mouthpiece? But no, they don't have the same, teeth, they don't have the same setup, so never mind. That won't work.
Make that shit fit. Paige probably wears his cup. She doesn't need to, but for moral support or something.
Oh shit! Look at my. Never mind.
Yeah, probably. You know what though? I have wondered for a while too. I'm like, if there is such a thing, or if they will create such a thing as a female cup. I mean, women have been fighting the UFC for a while now. They've been in boxing for a while now.
I thought they did in Muay Thai.
Really?
Yeah. Cause
is it like a Thai steel cup, like
Sylvie May. You know
yes.
Sylvie.
Yeah.
She talked about. I thought she talked about having to wear a cup. I could have swore she did like months ago. It's been several months. But I thought that was interesting. I was like, huh, okay. Because I had no idea that females had one too. Yeah.
Yeah, if you find this video or something, let me know because I'm interested now.
Yeah. Will do.
Yeah, yeah. So that does it for the Bellator stuff. So it's all UFC stuff from here on out. First up, the couple fights that are taking place at UFC 256. Junior Dos Santos,
Oh God, he's still fighting?
still fighting. He's gonna fight Surreal Gane, Surreal Gane or Surreal Gane. I think he was supposed to fight a few weeks ago, but there was some kind of thing where he was still under contract with his old promotion, so they had to like take him back. It was one of those issues. So this is one of those fights that JDS would probably win, but he's probably not going to.
Oh, that's rough, man. Okay.
Yeah. And on the same card, Gavin Tucker is going to be taking on my boy, Billy Quarantillo. That's 256 as well. Gavin Tucker, I know he came in hot, and he got his ass beat by some dude. It was really bad. I still remember that. It was really, really sad to watch. He's got some fights here and there, but Billy Quarantillo, man, again, I mentioned it in his last fight. I'll watch anything that dude's in. So I'll definitely be tuning in for this one.
That is the Amanda versus Megan card.
Yes.
Is that it?
And then, well, no more Usman. So I think that's the de facto main event now, right? I think it is.
Oh, it should be.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, this is gonna be a good fight. And I'm down to see Quarantillo just lay boys out. And that's probably what's gonna happen here.
Huh.
Yeah. In other news, the following week, Tyson Nam is gonna be taking on Matt Schnell. Matt Schnell is a guy that I know you dig, Green. It's happening December 19th. Now, apparently, when I'm seeing online, I've always talked about how Asian men get no ass, but it seems like Tyson Nam's got it going on, man.
No, I didn't notice, but I'm gonna have to go look.
Girls dig him. Girls dig him, man. I'm like, yeah. It's good to see an Asian man getting some, man, because they're often overlooked.
Yeah, good for you if you got a booty. It's usually flat. Asians got flat booties.
You still haven't heard Just Bleed of last week, have you?
No, man. No.
Send you the link because, yeah, Bobby was going on about Asians with their tiny butts. I was fucking dying.
Okay, well, you gotta send it to me. That's gonna give me motivation to do more squats.
They went on for like 10 minutes about Asians and little dicks and fucking Giuliani and Jorge Masvidal coming to America on a slip and slide.
Oh shit!
It was fucking wild. I loved it. I loved every second of it. Shout outs to the Just Bleed guys. It's not always just shitting on one another. They actually have a good show from time to time. That was a great one. Episode 300 was a banger. But anyway, last bit of news. Dominic Reyes is going to take on Jiri Prochazka. That's the guy. He knocked out, what's his face? Volkan Ozdemir.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody overlooked him because he came from Ryzen.
And he was doing all those kung fu moves and shit. Yeah.
Yep.
And he still knocked his ass out. Yeah, February 27th, they're supposed to headline this card. Who knows where the hell it's going to be because, I know Dana's talked about January. They're looking at like actually doing real fights, but I don't know about crowds and all that. So it's just, to me, this one's kind of like sad because Dominic Reyes was like a title contender and most people thought he beat John Jones. And now he's fighting Jiri Prochazka, who has one win in the UFC.
Yep. They're punishing him, man.
Yep.
Testing him to see what's up. But yeah, if he gets past Reyes, it's gonna be interesting.
God, I'm gonna be so pissed. Like, I think I still have like a hatred for this guy. Like, he's not good. I just can't accept that he's good. I don't care who he knows. He's not good. He's not. And Reyes isn't the best fighter in the world, but he should be able to beat him. But if he beats Reyes, he might be the number one contender. And John Jones isn't doing anything. He might be the next to fight Jan Blachowicz. And
Yep.
God.
Yep.
I'm cool with Jan. Not cool with this guy. We'll see. We'll see. I might be pulling for the fake Mexican heart on this one. Let's go, amigo.
You said, let's go, amigo.
For La Raza, come on. Yeah.
Oh, that sounded
so
forced.
I gotta say it on his terms. I can't roll my R's and all that shit on that one. He might not understand me.
Oh shit.
Gotta play the crowd. Anyway, that does it for MMA. Let's get into our news story of the week. Headline is Juárez mayor asks Mexico to ban entry by U.S. citizens as deaths hit 1,100 in border city. So our Juárez is a border state with the United States and Mexico. A lot of death there, as you can tell by the headline. 1,100 have died, and the mayor has made a plea to the Mexican government for medical supplies, things of that nature, but also asking to ban U.S. citizens from crossing the border. It looks like El Paso in Texas has a lot of cases too, and that's one of the border towns in America. And he's saying that back and forth migration from America to Mexico and so forth is causing a lot of spikes. There's been all kinds of shit going on in the news recently. I mean, there was that thing a few weeks ago that they're saying that Trump should have never shut the border down and the travel from China, that wouldn't have done anything. And then people were saying that was highly politicized and that there was actual science behind it and all kinds of shit. I do find this funny, and like the irony of Mexico trying to close the borders to Americans. There's obviously that angle of it. But to tell you the truth, if you guys haven't kept up, and I know this is someone who has family still over there, they have done a shit job. I don't know if they've done as bad as us. That's quite an accomplishment to try and do that. But my God, they basically just said, you figure it out. I know there's some people in America that would probably prefer that approach over the lockdowns, and there's a discussion to be had about that. But they did nothing to help the people. Just like they're not doing anything for us. But, I mean, they're not even trying to give them the false hope of like, we'll try and protect you. They're just like, you figure it out. I guess in some cities here in Mexico, they're doing like checkpoints, like only 2 people in a car at a time. They've done curfews and stopped the sale of alcohol after like 6 p.m. so people wouldn't, go out and party and shit. So I mean, I commend their efforts to an extent, but yeah, now it's a thing of we don't want Mexicans in this country, obviously, and Mexico don't want us either.
That shit's so funny. The tables have turned. Like, they don't want us. I guess it's expected. I had no idea until you told me, like, there's been, 9 million cases in the U.S. alone, because I've been focusing on the deaths. I didn't realize we were up to 90 million already. Like, what? It's not even 2020 is not even over yet. So I can see why, like Mexico or even like Canada. I think Canada still has their borders closed, right, to us. They don't want us coming through.
I haven't kept up with Canada.
Some shit, man. Like, they don't want our germs unless we have like beds and ventilators and stuff to bring. We're not welcome there.
I do find it funny that just like a year ago, 4 years ago, whenever Trump's taken office, I do find it funny that one of the, I don't want to call it politically correct answers because there's like veils of racism in it as well, but a lot of people were offended by it. But the way they try to play it off of like, no, this isn't a issue of hating brown people or anything like that. This is like a genuine threat to the country. A lot of people were talking about how these people may be bringing in diseases. Which has been a long talking point, both authentic and fear-mongering for the fear of immigrants. Oh, these people could be bringing in diseases, and now, well.
Damn, dude.
And that's the thing, is like the sad thing is that is a genuine concern. That is a genuine concern. People coming into this country and you don't know who they are. You never know. They could be bringing in diseases. That is a genuine concern.
Yeah.
But they definitely don't care about COVID, so they don't care about us spreading it here. So why do they care about other people bringing it from elsewhere? Why is it all of a sudden now a talking point?
When I was reading this, I was thinking, like, is this a smart thing to do? Because they are still making some sort of money if Americans were to cross over, right?
Even the local economy and shit. Yeah, I mean, people going to the stores and the bars and restaurants and hotels. Yeah, sure. But
I mean, do they have a lot of people coming through right now? Like, are
th-
people really traveling right now, anyways?
this is in Texas. I don't know how it is over there. Obviously, I've never been over there.
Yeah.
I've been to San Isidro, the border town here in San Diego with Tijuana. That is the most cross border in the world, and I know people who live in America and work in Mexico, and vice versa. I know people who live in Tijuana and come work in San Diego. It's a typical thing. Now, I haven't talked to those people too much as of late, so I don't know if they still have jobs. I don't know if that's still a thing going on, but that's a thing that many people do, millions of people do every day.
I don't remember what the border looks like down there. Was there a community really like close to the border to Mexico and California?
What do you
Or
mean? What do you mean a community?
like to cross over, is there like a stretch of land? Because in El Paso, I recall the community was like really close to each other. Because I stayed down there in El Paso. And yeah, one of the hotels there, like as soon as I walked out and kept walking down a little bit, like the border was right there. So like the communities were so close to each other, the neighborhoods.
Um, from what I haven't been down there in a while, but from what I remember, it's kind of weird with with the word community because there's no residences there.
Yeah, see, it's
Like
different.
from what I remember, Sunny Cedar was like a bunch of like mom and pop shops. It looks like downtown LA, like
Yeah.
some just like really old buildings that people sell just random shit. It's not like there's a lot of buildings or commerce down there. It's just people like selling shit. And then it's the same thing in Tijuana. As soon as you cross the border, it's people selling shit on the streets and tacos and little restaurants and shit like that. And then it took a few miles so you can get to like the city and the more urban areas and where people actually live. So there's like a good stretch of a few miles from where you can get to a neighborhood in America to a neighborhood in Mexico. That's what I remember from the U.S. Mexico border here in San Diego.
Now that you mention it, now I kind of remember that. But yeah, there's like at least on one side there was like all kinds of shops and they're like trying to sell like rugs and all kinds of stuff. I recall seeing that, but yeah, the El Paso border, there's hotels and stores and neighborhoods and the whole community is so close. I wonder if that's the reason why they're like kind of tripping because it's so close.
I think the reason too, I think in Texas it's different because that area of Mexico and Texas, like that's literally like the Wild West. I mean,
Right.
there was little like towns and shit set up, and there was real for a point in time there was no real difference between going to Mexico and going, crossing the border because it was just everyone kind of lived similarly around there.
Yes, like even the buildings, I'm like, wow, I'm in a totally different like setting here. Like I've never seen buildings like this before.
Yeah.
It wasn't your typical like American building, high rises and shit like that. Like
Hmm.
these, I won't even call it like shit. What are those buildings called? Victorian? It wasn't Victorian at all. It was yeah, like Mexican style.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so I was in a totally different world. Like I'm still in the United States, really?
But it
Yeah,
looks straight up like Mexico.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean Tex-Mex. We're talking
yeah.
about
True.
Taco Bell earlier. I mean that's the thing. Like that is a genuine thing.
Yeah, it tripped me out, man. It was hot as shit too. So fucking hot.
Yep.
But yeah, it tripped me out.
Yeah, yeah, and then I mean obviously we've talked about this before, and it's been in the news that several European countries don't want us over there too, and
Hmm.
it's gonna be interesting. It kind of makes you wonder, like once this shit's over, what's travel gonna look like? Is there gonna be many Mexicans trying to come over here, whether legally, illegally for travel? And then same with us. Are we gonna really be traveling back and forth? even if it's just across the border.
I know, who knows, right? Is it going to be safe for people to travel? Americans to travel?
Yeah, I know there was a thing that I think people were talking about, that there was a time when people were really going across the border. A lot of Mexicans were going across the border to get medicine. Americans were getting medicine from Mexico to bring back to the States because they're either on low supply or it was just cheaper over there.
They jack up the prices so much here, so yeah,
Hmm.
they can make shareholders happy and rich. Yep. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I mean, we're what, a week away?
Less than a week away. By the time we
Less,
record
yeah.
this next week, we may not be here. We don't know what's gonna happen next week. We
Shit,
have no
man.
idea, and it's gonna be. I We've done so much shit, Reen, that like, I mean, even with this episode, like we just talk so much shit. We try to find the humor in everything. That I think we'll find the humor in some of this, regardless of how bad it may be. Because full disclosure, both Reen and I are not going to be happy, regardless of who wins the race. But the only question is, how bad is it going to look?
Yeah, yeah.
And you know what? Just to get a little personal here, and to give a shout out to some of the people that we like. I mean, Alex Jones was on the Joe Rogan podcast this week, and it turns out him and Tim Dillon and a guy we actually like, Kyle Kalinske, are going to be covering the election live that night. I'm sure you guys, if you're listening to this, probably know who Alex Jones is, and whether you're fans of his or not, I recommend anything he's on with Joe Rogan, because the guy's a fucking animal. He's insane and he's hilarious, unintentionally or not. But Kyle Kalinske is actually a really smart guy, and he knows what he's talking about. And he's definitely not on the on the I was about to call him John Joe.
God damn it! I didn't do it this time. It was you.
Yep. He's not on the Alex Jones train of conspiracy theories and all that. He's way more on the left, but he's very rational. So I'm dying to see what this can look like. I mean, there might be a fist fight in the Joe Rogan studios, people. Like, not to hype it up or nothing, but that is a possibility that may happen, because we've seen how Alex Jones gets once you put a couple glasses of liquor in him. And
Well, they're going to be smoking, I think, because there's no more Sober October for Joe Rogan. That's the reason why Alex Jones was kind of tamed in this last episode.
he did drink a lot from what I saw, but
Yeah, but he wasn't going crazy and, paranoid, because he seemed kind of paranoid when he was on with Eddie Bravo, that
well,
episode.
I would be too. I mean, that boy looked up, fucking Christ.
Yeah,
I
so
will say though, I hope this makes up. I need to finish watching that episode because it seemed interesting. But then this has to, it cannot, it has to make up for the Kanye West episode. Because for you motherfuckers out there
God.
that actually sat through 3 hours of that shit, you deserve a fucking Nobel Peace Prize or a hug or a fucking medal or something. Because Jesus Christ, how? And why didn't your parents love you? Why would you put yourself through that? You fucking animals. I loved every second of the Kanye West insanity. I love that we can all just make fun of this mentally ill dude and no one gives a shit because he's a Trump supporter. And I couldn't make it 10 minutes. I couldn't make it 10 minutes in that shit. And even with the clips that have come out, and I love shit like that, Portocino Depot and a bunch of accounts on Twitter, couldn't stomach it. It's actually disgusting now. Couldn't take it. I don't know how the fuck Joe put up with that. And he deserves every single cent of those $100 million just for that fucking episode by itself.
That's just funny. I didn't even attempt to watch it because I'm good. I was excited about it. Yeah, like you, I saw like small clips of it, and I'm like, I'm good. I've had enough. I did watch the Alex Jones episode yesterday. I was replaying it again earlier today because it
Wanted to
was
chop
so
your son's balls off?
it was so interesting because he was so tamed, and things that he was spitting out, Joe was making sure to fact check it and make sure that, he kind of backs up Alex and whatever he was talking about, because, what's going on with him and Spotify. They're trying to fucking, cancel him. They're trying to fuck with him. And then, of course, Alex Jones, with his past, and yeah, it's not a good look. So, yeah, he was a little bit more tame. Joe was just trying to keep him on on task, not jumping from topic to topic. So yeah, I am very much looking forward to the November 3rd episode.
One reason I look forward to the election, right? Like the only reason.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
Yep.
I'm excited for it, which is crazy. But yeah, there's going to be weed going around and drinking. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. And then the very next day, it's going to be interesting too to see how many people get triggered and upset, and Spotify employees trying to cancel Joe Rogan because
he got like 20 million live views and CNN got like 500,000.
Right, like yeah, all the uproar, and so yeah, it's gonna be a good few days there.
It was quite amazing that Joe Rogan actually tried to corral Alex Jones like that, because I started looking at old clips the other day and I totally forgot about this gold mine that Alex Jones had with that last episode with Eddie Bravo. He was talking about, I don't know, some shit about politicians harvesting babies' organs and all this and that, and then he was saying that some doctor was like a KKK member and he'd been blackmailed to like do this to children or some wild shit, the way that he goes on. And then he randomly went on like, "What? Yeah, he was part of some like racist university. Like, why do you think that these fraternity guys make you a fuck sheep and give guys blowjobs? That's why I never joined them." And Joe and Eddie were like, "Wait, what the fuck? What did you just say?" And he just said it like it was totally normal. Like, dude, you can't just say that like nothing just happened. It was beautiful. I was like, people talk about the whole, the governor, listen to me, the Senate voted, all that shit, and I love that shit too. But that clip in particular was fucking hilarious. It was hilarious that he just mentioned that. Like, if everybody knows that, like, wait, what? You blow dudes and fuck sheep? What the fuck?
Dude, I'm gonna have to watch that old one again just to prepare myself then.
Dude, it was beautiful. And then him trying to get Eddie to choke him out, and he was like,
"Oh yeah."
Like, oh man, it was fun. In middle school, we used to do this all the time.
Yeah, right? And didn't he say like, yeah, we like hit my head on the ground and
yeah, he's like insane. He like proved that he was insane. He has like TBI and shit.
Yeah.
Then of course, I gotta admit, I'm a little retarded. Yeah.
I think that was a weed talking. He's like spitting all kinds of truths out.
Truths and half truths and everything in between. Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
I only love Alex Jones when he's on the Joe Rogan podcast. That's the only time I can stomach him.
Right. Because I can't watch InfoWars. I cannot. Well, unless I did watch one because Immortal Technique was on it. But other than that, I never searched, ever since. When Alex Jones is on the Joe Rogan podcast, yeah, I'm all over it. Sorry, Kanye.
I'm like laughing right now just thinking back of all those clips. I'll look some of them up. I think someone made a highlight. I gotta send them to you.
Oh shit! Good. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't have to recap the entire episode.
Yeah. All right, Reen. Well, this has been fun. Thank you guys for listening to all our bullshit. I hope this provides some type of comedy, comfort, anything before, to get you pre-fight hyped, if anyone even does that anymore. Or if, you're just listening to this prior to the election and you need some kind of levity, I hope we bring that to you guys. So thanks again. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at juice_MMA. Reen?
Fox with you on Instagram and Twitter.
And you can find the podcast page also on Twitter and Instagram at iFoxWithJuice. iTunes, Spreaker, Spotify. We're on all these platforms. Search any one of them. We're basically all there. Thank you guys for joining us. Keep listening, and I hope the world doesn't burn by the time we do this next week. Hope you stick around as well. Later.
See ya.